what's crazy? The Phantom Menace almost wasn't even the movie we got. It was a completely different story with surprises that would have blown everyone's mind. The film started in a way you wouldn't believe. Obi-Wan was supposed to be the main character, Darth Maul might have been a woman, and Jar Jar was far more capable.
As the creator of Mara Jade,
Wait! I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Sam.
No way.
You brought
No way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm
Out.
sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Ted, I got your voucher.
Out! There.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. We'll have him like burned and we'll
I don't even
execute
know
and
who
burned.
that guy is. So I sit there all day long.
And here's where it gets wild. Now, back in the early 90s, George Lucas was itching to dive back into Star Wars. Let me tell you, this wasn't just nostalgia. He wanted to push filmmaking into uncharted territory. His team at Industrial Light and Magic was already experimenting with the young Indiana Jones Chronicles, figuring out how to make digital characters move naturally and replace those insane location shoots that ate up time and money. Then Jurassic Park dropped in '93 and boom, CGI wasn't just possible, it was seamless. Lucas realized, now I can finally make this prequel trilogy exactly the way I've always imagined without the old limitations holding me back. And just when you think Lucas had it all figured out, the writing process nearly derailed the whole project. He first approached Frank Darabont fresh off Shawshank Redemption, but it quickly fell apart. WGA rules got in the way, and Darabont couldn't bend without breaking guild law. See, Lucas had a long-standing feud with the Writers and Directors Guilds dating back to The Empire Strikes Back, so he ended up taking matters into his own hand. He wrote episode 1 himself, originally calling it The Beginning. Weeks before filming, he bumped into Lawrence Kasdan hoping for a last-minute polish, but Kasdan declined. According to him, there simply wasn't enough time. And it only gets trickier. Lucas didn't even want to direct. He asked Robert Zemeckis, Spielberg, and Ron Howard. Everyone said no. The pressure was insane. Nobody wanted to follow up on Star Wars. So guess what? Lucas stepped back into the director's chair himself for the first time since A New Hope.
If they find us, they will crush us, grind us into tiny pieces, and blast us into oblivion.
Ah, this way. Sir, then crash into buses. Hey, Blibber. Doesn't think we going back now.
Losing power. Power's back.
Head for that outcropping.
The area that completely blew my mind is here, and originally Obi-Wan was the actual core of the narrative. Not only a supporting character, Obi-Wan was the elder Jedi in the first draft. Qui-Gon was the younger one. Here's the amazing twist though. Obi-Wan really passes in one version and Qui-Gon inherits his name. Picture it. Had it been the line we all know, Alec Guinness stating Obi-Wan, now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. It would have had a totally different weight and significance. In another version, Obi-Wan independently looks into the trade dispute and only meets Qui-Gon after arriving on Coruscant, totally reversing the course of events. Originally intended for Obi-Wan, even the personality qualities we today very much connect with Qui-Gon. The quiet knowledge, the rebellious streak. Consider that for a moment. The mentorship-student relationship with Anakin, which is so well known, would have sounded tonally and emotionally quite different. The stakes, the link, and even the humor and tension might have been quite different. In essence, this early retelling of the tale changes the emotional core in such a manner that it is different compared to the modern version we all enjoy. Seeing how flexible the narrative was at one point is amazing. And here's where it gets emotionally charged. In Lucas's original vision, Obi-Wan wasn't just a mentor, he was almost a father figure to Anakin. Not the older brother vibe we got in the prequels, but a true parental presence shaping the kid's world. And there's more. Padmé's subtle crush on Obi-Wan was part of the plan. You can imagine the tension, jealousy, unspoken feelings, and rivalry simmering beneath the surface. According to me, this twist would have added layers of emotional depth to their relationships, making their eventual conflicts feel raw and personal, not just plot-driven. What would you have done if you were in Obi-Wan's shoes here?
You lack conviction.
And just when you think the story couldn't get more different. Anakin was originally 12, older, wiser, and far more capable than the 9-year-old we saw in the film. This change made his budding romance with Padmé feel natural, not awkward. Also, the whole Chosen One prophecy and midichlorians gone. Instead, Anakin's Force abilities were tested in practical, exciting way. Like when he guides the ship past the Trade Federation's blockade, using the Force to hit that perfect hyperspace moment. And here's my favorite. During the final space battle, he isn't alone. Padmé takes the gunner seat, coordinating attacks with him. They win together, trust is built instantly, and their connection is far more believable. And this part is wild if you're into visuals. Obi-Wan wasn't always the calm, beige-robed Jedi we know. He started in all black, looking sharp and intimidating, only donning moisture farmer robes when he hit Tatooine. Lucas even imagined full Jedi armor. Think padded black riot gear, a futuristic night vibe. Early concept art shows these armored Jedi, but the design team pushed back, insisting the audience needed that iconic robe look. Lucas eventually relented, giving us the Tatooine-style robes we all remember. And here's where Jar Jar gets a serious glow-up. In early drafts, he wasn't the bumbling clown everyone complained about. No, he was competent, courageous, and surprisingly clever. The Gungans themselves spoke normally and were treated as second-class citizens. Lucas wanted to explore themes of social inequality here, which is huge. Before the final battle, Jar Jar is promoted to general, leading the 5th Barrage, proving he's capable in combat. He also becomes the bridge between the Gungans and the people of Naboo, fostering a real alliance. And get this, there was an early idea for him to have a little dog-like sidekick called a Blur, making him double the comic relief, but that was dropped thankfully for simplicity.
This is my apprentice, Darth Maul.
And now Darth Maul. From the very beginning, he was designed to be terrifying. Concept artist Ian McKay drew inspiration from his own worst nightmare, and that vision evolved into the iconic black and red tattooed face we all recognize today. But here's an interesting twist. In one alternate version, Maul was actually envisioned as a woman. George Lucas was intrigued by the idea, but ultimately it was shelved, and the concept would later be transformed into the character of Mother Talzin in the Clone Wars. Originally, Maul was meant to have dialogue, to speak and taunt his opponents. So once Ray Park signed the project and showed off his amazing martial arts abilities, Lucas saw that the character's silent, threatening presence paired with Park's physical form was much more powerful. Maul's actions, agility, and fighting skills alone communicated pure danger. He did not require words to be frightening. With his double-bladed lightsaber and unrelenting intensity, the Silent Warrior rose to be among the most recognizable adversaries in the Star Wars galaxy. A striking design, physical performance, and the decision to eliminate conversation turned Darth Maul into a living embodiment of terror, demonstrating that occasionally silence might be far more terrible than words. What next? A bad guy whose effects are evident long after he shows up on screen. And get this, Mace Windu could have been Tupac Shakur. Consider that. Following Tupac's untimely passing in 1996, Lucas sought out Samuel L. Jackson, who contributed his bigger-than-life presence and actual Star Wars obsession. Jackson ruled the screen, giving the Jedi a strong, indelible vitality rather than only playing Mace. And here's where the narrative itself would have startled your mind. Lucas's first screenplay explored character and relationships, and not just dazzling fights or computer graphics brilliance, and emotional stakes. Beginning with Obi-Wan, who frees Anakin from slavery, he is shaped. Anakin's older age made him capable and wise. Beyond his years, his abilities had a direct impact on every scene, especially his relationship with Padmé. And speaking of Padmé, she was was much more than a damsel engaged in combat, coordinating attacks with Anakin, and displaying genuine teamwork. The story included themes of social injustice, loyalty, envy, and mentorship, hence providing the prequel layers of depth that the last movie barely hinted at. Now let's discuss visuals, since the Phantom Menace forever transformed film. For CGI, digital characters, and the development of whole realistic worlds, it was a milestone. From pod racing to full-scale combat, ILM broke boundaries with every scene, establishing a fresh benchmark for digital filmmaking that affected every blockbuster thereafter. The surprise here is that viewers were divided, even though the visuals were stunning. Dialogue seemed stilted, characters sometimes flat, and the tone varied. Some scenes were epic, others humorously absurd. Fans cringed at clumsy exposition and Jar Jar's antics even as they applauded the show. Had Lucas stuck more to his initial concept, older Anakin, fatherly Obi-Wan, capable Jar Jar, more serious political theme, the movie could have achieved the ideal balance between spectacle and narrative. It might have been remembered for its emotional and narrative richness, as well as for its revolutionary impact, connecting with both critics and followers. Consider a Phantom Menace that genuinely lived up to Star Wars mythology. So there you have it. The Phantom Menace we know was just one version of what could have been. Paternal Obi-Wan, older Anakin, competent Jar Jar, and even a female Darth Maul could have made it legendary. So what's your take? Drop it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe.